To talk about thyroid in pregnancy, actually, thyroid is something which we don't concentrate or talk about much during pregnancy. We think even a mild difference in thyroid, sometimes even when we say talk to patients, they are a little hesitant in taking the medicine. Now, taking a thyroid pill, they feel, um, should I take it for a longer time? Will it give us any side effects? So many questions they ask us, which they don't ask for any other medication. So I want everybody to understand that thyroid is even a mild difference in thyroid will affect the baby which is forming. If the mild difference, I mean, if it is a very significant difference, definitely the mental development of the baby will be affected. That is, we call it as cretinism. Intrauterine, that is the baby fetus which is forming inside the uterus itself, will be affected by the high thyroid level, I mean, requirement of thyroid. And a mild change, we call it as subclinical thyroid hypothyroidism. What we see nowadays is like many women getting into mild subclinical hypothyroidism once after they get pregnant. So they are not having any thyroid imbalance before pregnancy, but after pregnancy, we find them to have a mild imbalance. What happens if we don't identify this and treat them? There is a chance for preterm delivery. There is a chance for this particular woman going in for a high blood pressure during pregnancy, and a mild chance for getting into complications during the delivery. So that is why even a mild change in the thyroid requirement, we try to address it at the starting point itself. Yes, alcohol, there is no safe limit at all. So,
Okay.
alcohol is an absolute no. Even wine, they say it is absolute no during pregnancy. The fetus, the youngest, that is, the earliest fetus would be like around 3 weeks baby itself has a high possibility of getting affected, because it's your brain which is getting affected with alcohol, the same way the fetus's brain gets affected. So as early as, that is, even before you confirm pregnancy, probably if you're pregnant and you don't know, probably, and you're taking alcohol, probably even that point of time, the fetus can get affected and get into very severe deformities. So alcohol is an absolute no, and no cocktails, no wine. So
Okay.
if you're planning for pregnancy, right from your planning period, I think it is better to avoid such things. And
Okay.
smoking, again, a very big no to smoking, because smoking has got a very serious impact, and there's a lot of preterm births, a lot of deformities, and intrauterine growth restrictions which can happen with smoking. So definitely both smoking and alcohol is to be avoided.
Okay.
Healthy women, and this is going to be a very uncomplicated healthy pregnancy. You don't have any diabetes, you don't have any hypertension complicating the pregnancy, everything is fine, then you can very well indulge in sex, because the baby is in a fluid of water, that is called amniotic fluid. So whatever movement happens, the baby is only floating there. So it really doesn't affect the mother or the baby. But during the first 3 months of pregnancy, we have this notion that having sex can cause a miscarriage
Yeah.
or a bleeding during pregnancy. I'm not very sure, but I've seen one or two women very rarely coming to us with this complaint that I had an intercourse and I'm bleeding. So
Okay.
this also happens. I won't say it doesn't happen at all, but if you think there is something to be avoided there, you're not really comfortable with this sexual activity, then please avoid it. I generally tell my patients, if you're okay to go and you're comfortable, please continue. If you're not comfortable, you have an uncomfortable feeling, or you don't have an interest towards it, or you have a mild lower abdomen pain whenever you have an intercourse, please say no to it. It is okay. It is not mandatory that you should have a sexual life during pregnancy. But if you're fine with that and you're comfortable, it is fine to continue at whatever pregnancy period you are. Medication to prolong the pregnancy. But if you allow yourself to bleed more, that is called spontaneous abortion, where you bleed yourself and expel the fetus. So that can also happen. but this is a preventable one. But miscarriage where the baby didn't grow, or sometimes they say in the ultrasound when they do a scan, the doctor says the heartbeat is not there, the baby is not growing more. So these are miscarriages where the fetus stays in the body for some longer time and then it starts bleeding. So here in this scenario, we don't have anything much medically to help. But earliest you come and meet the doctors, we can avoid such situation. Favorite question, actually, because I make sure my patients exercise right from the 5th month of pregnancy, and that is why our normal delivery rates are very high compared to any other hospital. Our rates are very high. Probably our rates are like around 80% of women who come to Bloom deliver normally. Where this 20% is because we also have IVF pregnancies and high risk pregnancies, they go in for elective C sections. But otherwise, most of them are trained from the 5th month of pregnancy itself, because everybody has this tendency, not to exercise, not to do anything, eat well, sleep well, this kind of attitude. I want to break this. And that is why we have regular classes for these pregnant women monthly once, and we teach them what are the do's and don'ts for each month and what are the exercises we expect them to do. Sometimes the women are very unaffordable for the classes, and all we teach them the household activities. It is not necessary that always an exercise classes or the Lames kind or yoga should be attended. Probably doing your household activities like brooming the floor, climbing stairs up and down, or full squat and mopping the floor. These kind of exercise will open up your pelvis. When your pelvis opens up, the bones relax, the muscle and ligaments stretch, then the baby comes down easily and you get into labor easily. I don't think we even have to put an effort there. The delivery happens very smooth. I think affirmations and yoga, meditation, and there's something called talking to the baby, Garbha Raksha, and all that. So you can keep doing that and listening to good music. Music therapy is good for during pregnancy. All that can be done. And we also do hypnotherapy. You can keep talking to the baby. So all this seems to be, though we if practical people might think it is funny, but there is an effect men in India, but as a part of the respectful birthing, I make sure we have a coupled session always, and men are always available for both the consultation and for the exercise classes. And men are even taught to carry the baby even before the baby is born, and even this like the kangaroo care and so many other things are taught to men also. Massages and perineal massages, back massages, how they can help the women. All these are done by husbands basically. So these are taught to husbands, and I make sure that the husband is available during the delivery, because I want them to see what the wife goes through during delivery. That improves that kind of bonding between the husband. So the moment the baby comes out, you have to see that they rejoice as if it is a combined effort. It is never seen as a woman giving birth. It's seen as a family blooming, or their family, like a new member is added to the family, and a lot of good things, good vibes are seen at that moment.